And we're back.
We're back after trying the C920. Here is the C919. This is the neck pour, so that is worth noting.
So this actually doesn't punch me in the nose.
No, it doesn't. And it's weird because this is almost 137 proof. This is one of the higher proof ones they've ever come out with. I think they only have one that's higher, and it broke 140.
Yep. And I mean, it's a little hot on the nose still, but like the other one hurt to smell it.
It's again very fruity, sweet fruity.
Yeah, this one's more of like a maraschino cherry instead of dark fruit. But it does give me the same notes I got from B520. Like it has like a bit of like a honey sweetness to it that the B520 had on the nose.
A little bit brown sugary compared to this, especially compared to the C920.
Yeah, this doesn't have the same like dark, bitter oak notes that C920 has.
No, in fact, I don't get much oak at all.
I get vanilla. I definitely get like vanilla oak, but that's about it. This doesn't have like that dark presence that the C920 has.
Right.
That makes it distinct.
This is also the almost most beautiful shade of amber, or like burgundy I've seen out of whiskey.
It's like, lighter than C920, which is mind-boggling.
But this is like the perfect shade.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. Although, surprisingly enough, there isn't a whole lot of like legginess to this whiskey. Like, it doesn't stick to the glass too much.
No, it doesn't have the viscosity that the
C920 had.
C920 did feel like it had.
Curious or curiouser?
Let's go. Ooh. That's a hitter.
I feel like the exhale that I just had after I sipped it was all ethanol.
Woo!
I kind of want to take a lighter and see if breathing out brings flames. But that's probably also not a good idea.
But, wow.
So, ton less oak. A ton less oak.
Still very fruit forward.
This is a brighter fruit
Call
for
me
sure.
crazy. I get dill. Not super pronounced, but it's there. Enough that I can point it out.
I think it's some of the, like, I think the way that some of the flavors, like, wind down.
Could be like the oak spice, just the way it's interacting.
I think the way that the oak spice hits hard at first and then, like, slowly inks down.
But
it turns into, like, a dill taste.
Yeah, it's definitely reminiscent of dill. It's not necessarily dill. It's not dill forward like a rye. It's like a dill heavy rye.
It's not like the dill that you get like and you immediately notice it. It's one of those things where like the oak spice transitions.
It also wasn't.
Into
It wasn't immediately there.
Yeah. But it's sweet on the front, a little bit fruity, and it's definitely tannic. Like this is not like this is like an oak tannic, but not bitter.
It does lean. It sort of still aligns with like the theory behind it. Because while it's not super oaky, those oak tannins, high proof, heavy hitter, deep fruit.
Yeah, no, those things are still in line. And this is definitely not nearly as sweet as the B520 I had.
No, it has sweet notes, but it is nowhere near as sweet as any of the other Elijah Craigs I've had, aside from the C920.
I kind of want to add a little bit of water to see what it does.
You know, yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to add a little splash.
It didn't really get rid of the amber at all.
No, it didn't change the color at all. Nose?
The nose? Sweeter.
I think it smells a little woodier. Not oakier, just woodier.
Yeah, I can see that.
It didn't change the alcohol hotness on the nose at all. It still smells like...
But to be fair, it was less pronounced in this one than it was in the C920.
One of the notes, yeah. One of the things on the nose I just noticed that was on this before we added water, but it's more pronounced now, is honey.
Yeah.
I get more honey now, and it was on the nose before, but it's more pronounced now.
Mm-hmm.
Killed a decent bit of the heat, actually.
Yeah, I know. We only dropped it a couple proof points by doing that. that dill, that sort of transition into dill from the oak spice is definitely still there. If anything, it's more pronounced to me.
I'm getting more dark chocolate on the back end.
I'm getting dark chocolate on the back.
Actually, no, it's not dark chocolate, it's cocoa.
No.
C920 was dark chocolate. This is cocoa powder.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely drier.
The first sip wasn't giving that to me so much. The second one definitely is.
Yeah. Like, it's not the same level of creamy chocolate, like creamy dark chocolate C920 is. This is definitely more of
It's
like
interesting that this has less sweet notes than that one does, even after adding water. It has sweeter flavors, but they're so intense and they're so raw.
Yeah, like whenever you think of like,
especially with all the honey we got on the nose.
Yeah, the sweetness to this is like honeycomb, dark chocolate, or cocoa powder, I should say. Fucking like raw brown sugar. Like you literally cut it out of the sugar cane and just roasted it brown sugar. Like these are like, it's kind of sweet, but it's all like the most raw, pure form.
Almost like a burnt sugar too.
Turbinado, yeah, I can see turbinado sugar in that. Which apparently I found out is the term for burnt sugar is turbinado sugar.
Well, yeah, burnt sugar.
Yeah.
Turbid sugar, I don't know.
Turbinada.
Huh?
Turbinada for them.
Turbinada for them.
Yeah, it's turbinado, I believe. And I don't know where that term comes from. That was just something that I got corrected by with a bartender.
Oh, okay. Well, burnt sugar.
I had no comment. I don't really care. That was just something that I learned and had to point out.
But this is after adding water, by the way. This is how amber this still... I know it's not really showing that well on the camera compared to in person. But this is still like... It did not lose that golden amber color.
No, not at all. I have to say, I do think I like the C920 a little bit better, even though it is a little bit hotter. I like how dark it... Like, if I was to describe a whiskey as dark, it would be like the C920. Like, that is a dark whiskey. This is a little bit brighter than that.
I agree, for sure. On your evaluation of the flavor.
Right.
But I think for me, one, it's very close. Two, you know I'm a sucker for dill, and I love the way that oak spice transitions to almost a dill flavor.
Right.
It's not dill, but it's reminiscent.
It fools you into thinking that it's dill.
Exactly. I don't know that I could pick, if I'm being honest. These are dramatically different than any other ones that we've had, but it almost proves your point in the previous video about how the A's tend to be balanced, the B's tend to be sweet, the C's tend to be spicy, oaky, drier, fruitier.
You want to break out the A121 and just do a quick comparison?
We haven't done a video on that, have we?
I think we did do a video on it, but it was during that other big barrel proof lineup we had with the Penelope, I think.
Yes.
I kind of want to taste it just as like a side-by-side comparison.
Let's do it.
Because I'm curious.
For our viewers, there will not be a video on this, sorry. There will eventually, once we have a B520 in our hands, be a video on a small lineup of these.
Yes.
But
I will find B520. It is going to happen. I need it to happen.
for now, this is really good. So is the previous one, the C920. I bid you adieu.